Now, we will cover two important subjects: the respiratory system and the muscles. Everything is connected in the body. If the respiratory system does not work well, the immune system does not work well either, because the immune system cells do not receive enough oxygen. The respiratory system cannot function well if there is a weak immune system, and the immune system cannot protect the lungs from infection. The muscles hold the skeleton, and if weakened, the bones are affected, which in turn affects the internal organs. When we inhale air, the air enters the lungs via the alveoli, then goes to the blood, and from there, oxygen enters the cells. In this picture you can see how the alveoli process looks like, and how the alveoli are surrounded by capillary networks. This video shows how oxygen enters the body and carbon dioxide leaves it via the alveoli. Thus, there is a physical contact with the blood circulation and the entire respiratory system, as you can see here. Respiratory problems are often related to problematic bronchi. If you have problems with your lungs, the most common issue is shrinking bronchi. They become smaller, inflamed, contaminated, and there is not enough oxygen delivered to the cells. The case is similar with asthma, where the bronchi's function is slowed down, with inflammation and coughing as a result. This weakens the blood circulation. There is also pneumonia, caused by viruses or parasites. Pulmonary infections can be fatal. Therefore, as with everything else in the body, we need to strengthen our lungs. To improve and strengthen the lungs and respiratory system, we need to do three things. 1. Eat fatty foods because the lungs are made up by fat. Healthy fatty foods are needed with every meal. Some nutritionists say you need 60 to 70% fat, 20 to 30% proteins, and the rest carbohydrates. More fat makes carbohydrates less fast. When you eat a meal with fat and fast carbohydrates, there will be less insulin created. 2. It's necessary to strengthen the lungs with breathing exercises. Breathing exercises are very important. You really need to train your lungs and your breathing capacity. This will be an added benefit when you perform the exercises. 3. In order to improve your pulmonary functions, you need to visualize and focus on the specific goal you want to achieve with your lungs. You create the improvements by holding your breath while visualizing. Avocado, salmon, nuts, oils and flaxseed. You should include fat in every meal. It can be olive oil, avocado oil, etc. In order to perform the breathing exercises correctly, you need to know what happens when you breathe. When you inhale, your stomach expands, your diaphragm sinks down and your lungs dilate. When you exhale, your stomach falls back, your lungs contract and your diaphragm rises. So, on the inhale, the stomach expands, and on the exhale, the stomach falls back. When we perform the breathing exercises like this, our breathing becomes more effective. Breathe in with your nose. Our exercises involve holding your breath. Watch the video on how your stomach breathes. Breathe in and your stomach expands and vice versa. It's important to understand that, with age, there will often be problems with the diaphragm, as it becomes less mobile and more blocked, which will limit your breathing potential. Especially people over 50, have a limited mobility in the diaphragm. So, it's important to train the diaphragm in order to be able to breathe effectively. You will avoid these problems if you do the breathing exercises. But if you don't, your diaphragm will have problems and will suffer from limited functions. The lungs will not open and close sufficiently, which is a well-known phenomenon. The picture shows you how the diaphragm rises and sinks. Activating your diaphragm. Inhale, hold your breath, Pull your stomach in and exhale. Repeat it several times while holding your breath and then exhale. Do this back and forth and then the diaphragm becomes activated. It does not happen in a day, but if you do it regularly, the diaphragm will become more and more activated. In addition, if you do this exercise regularly, you can reduce fat on the abdomen, activate the abdominal muscles. This might help you ease your breathing. Do this exercise 3 to 4 times per day. Here you can see a woman holding her breath, and how she exercises her diaphragm. In addition to the breathing exercises, do visualizations. It is very beneficial for your lungs to spend time in the forest and breathe fresh air. In the forest, there is a substance which improves your breathing capacity, which is called phytocides. Phytocides have a great positive effect on the lungs and bronchi. Now, we are going to do an exercise to strengthen the lungs, just like we did before by visualization and by holding your breath. Let the music flow into your lungs. The music this time is by Mozart, and it will improve the effects of the exercise. As usual, there is an animated movie. Remember to hold your breath and imagine that the blood circulation in the lungs is increasing. Then, imagine that the fluids in the lungs are moving. This exercise can be done at any time, also when lying in bed. Imaging that the circulation in the lungs is increasing. Most exercises should be done every day, and all of them together. Takes approximately only 30 minutes to perform. When you are improving the circulation in the brain, you are affecting everything in the body. A major advantage of our method is that everything is affected in the body. The respiratory system also includes the sinuses. A chronic inflammation of the sinuses can cause inflammation of the lungs, which can provoke more serious problems. It is beneficial to work with the sinuses to improve the circulation there. Now, try making movements happen in the sinuses and in the forehead by tensing then relaxing the area. The energy will now be activated there. Hold your breath and listen to the music at the same time. There is an acupuncture point called Higu, which can very effectively impact on the respiratory system. It is the fourth point of the colon meridian. Chinese medicine states that the intestines and the lungs are connected, so this point is important for improving the respiratory function. Now, do this exercise with the Higu acupuncture point. Hold your breath, focus on the point and listen to the music. Now we are going to work with the muscles, which are of great importance to human health. The muscles hold the skeleton and internal organs. There are muscles which belong to the skeleton, to internal organs, and to the heart, as you can see in the picture. Problems with the muscles can occur when tension accumulates, which then presses on the capillaries and the blood vessels, which hinders the muscles to absorb enough nutrition and oxygen and eventually causes the muscles to weaken and losing their functions. Due to aging, cellular functions are weakened, the production of collagen decreases and fat begins to be stored in the tissues. With aging, fat begins to dominate in the body, and the fat begins to push out the muscles. Therefore, it is really important to improve and restore the muscles and at the same time burn fat. Growth hormone is of great importance for increasing muscle mass. The production of growth hormone decreases with age. Growth hormone is produced in the brain by the pituitary gland at night. That's why it is very important to be at sleep between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. as this is when most of the growth hormone is produced. It is important that we aid the body in increasing growth hormone by stimulating the blood circulation in the brain, as we did before. There is a hormone that accelerates the production of muscle mass creation. It's called insulin, and it builds muscles. You might think that you need to eat more carbohydrates to build muscles, but that's not the case. Many people overdose on carbohydrates and sugar, which will cause too much insulin to build up in the body. Most people have a sugar intake 27 times higher than what the body needs. Too much sugar can make the body resistant to insulin as the cells start to block insulin from entering the cell membrane. Insulin helps to create muscles, but the ratio of carbohydrate needs to be correct. And it's a very good idea for most people to reduce the intake of carbohydrates. Physical activity is needed to strengthen the muscles and make them grow. But the muscles grow when we are resting, when we are recovering, and not when we are exercising. Too much exercise leads to a decrease in muscle mass. We can work with the muscles in the same way we have done with the other organs. We can use energetic visualization, which we do by keeping our focus on any specific body part, and in this case, on a muscle while holding our breath. When we do this, the circulation increases and the cell's condition improve. You can choose any muscle you would like to work with. You work with your muscles in the same manner as you have done with other organs. Our blood circulation reaches everywhere in the body, and you can work with any muscles you want. For example, the ones in your hips or in your arms by placing you focus there with your mind and simultaneously holding your breath. You can focus on your chest, lungs or on the thymus. The part you are thinking of is the part where your focus goes, and where the circulation is improved. Another way that helps muscles to grow is with anaerobics, which is my own method, and which we have already had a go at. I'd like to remind you that when you hold your breath and simultaneously tense and then relax various body parts, the reserve capillaries open up. This will increase the circulation in the area and will help, among other things, the muscles to grow. Now, let us do an exercise with anaerobics, which can help your muscles to grow. This time we will work with the arms. The blood circulation in the arms is improved when we open the reserve capillaries there. Think of victory and success. Now, as usual, we do a short meditation when we think of victory and success, which helps our subconscious to tune into positive results. This time, with a focus on strengthening the respiratory system and the muscles.